White knight marches to f3. Black knight marches to f6. White pawn marches to b3. Black pawn marches to d5. White bishop marches to b2. Black bishop marches to g4. White pawn marches to h3. Black bishop captures knight at f3. White pawn captures bishop at f3. Black pawn marches to e6. White pawn marches to f4. Black bishop marches to d6. White pawn marches to g3. Black kingside castling. White bishop marches to g2. Black knight marches to d7. White kingside castling. Black pawn marches to c6. White pawn marches to d3. Black pawn marches to e5. White pawn captures pawn at e5. Black bishop captures pawn at e5. White pawn marches to d4. Black bishop retreats to d6. White knight marches to d2. Black rook moves sideways to e8. White pawn marches to c4. Black knight retreats to f8. White queen marches to c2. Black knight marches to e6. White rook moves sideways to d1. Black queen marches to d7. White pawn marches to h4. Black rook moves sideways to d8. White knight retreats to f1. Black knight retreats to c7. White rook moves sideways to e1. Black bishop marches to b4. White rook marches to e3. Black rook captures rook at e3. White knight captures rook at e3. Black rook moves sideways to e8. White rook moves sideways to d1. Black bishop retreats to d6. White queen marches to d3. Black pawn marches to g6. White bishop retreats to c1. Black pawn marches to h5. White knight retreats to f1. Black bishop retreats to f8. White bishop marches to f4. Black bishop marches to g7. White knight marches to e3. Black knight marches to e6. White bishop marches to e5. Black queen retreats to d8. White pawn marches to a4. Black pawn marches to a6. White pawn marches to b4. Black pawn captures pawn at c4. White queen captures pawn at c4. Black knight retreats to c7. White bishop captures knight at c7. Black queen captures bishop at c7. White pawn marches to d5. Black bishop marches to h6. White knight retreats to f1. Black queen marches to d6. White pawn captures pawn at c6. Black queen captures rook at d1. White pawn marches to c7. Black queen retreats to d7. White bishop captures pawn at b7. Black rook moves sideways to c8. Game still in progress.